Hi, today I'm going to demo our product, which is an app called Assist. Assist is a pickup sports organizing app that is intended for lower income families. So the parents of those families can give their children opportunities to play sports without like the need to pay all the fees for travel sports or like all the time commitment that can come with being on a team if you don't have that much time. So what we decided to make was this app called Assist, which we made on an iOS app, and I'll be demonstrating it here on a simulator, which is running through Xcode. So this is our app downloaded onto the simulator. If you open it, this is the screen you are greeted with as a new user. You have the option to sign into the app if you already have an account or create a new one. For this example, I will create a new account. Here you put in your email. This I'll do testuser1gmail.com. Then you just make a password so you can sign in again later. You have to confirm it to make sure you don't mistype. You hit create account. Then it takes you here to set up a profile. You're able to choose a profile picture if you want. It's not required. Here we're on a simulator, so these are the only photos I have. I'll pick these nice flowers as our profile pic. Then you get to choose the name you want to be displayed on the app. In this case, I will go as test user one. And then if you want to put in a neighborhood of like where you usually are, that's allowed, but you don't need to if you don't want to put out that information. So say I want to put in Burns Park. I can put that as my neighborhood. And then this app's intended to be used by the parents for their children to sign them up for events, but it could also be used by children as they get older, like teens and whatnot could use it themselves as well. So you pick which sport. So say I'm the parent of a kid who likes to play soccer and basketball. I will hit those as the preferred sports, and I will hit continue to finish my profile. So now we are in the main Discover page of our app, and this shows you all the local events that are going on near you coming up. Um, since we're on a simulator, the location's a bit different. It puts us in San Francisco by default since it's an Apple simulator. So we're not at our actual location in Ann Arbor here. So these are the ones that are in San Francisco showing up. But you can see all these different events here are events that have been created and are publicly available to join or sign your kid up for, or yourself if you're using the app as an older user. And you can also search up here. Say you only want to look at the soccer matches. You can filter by soccer, and then you'll see all the soccer you can sign up for. Same with basketball, and you can scroll through all our different sports. Got pickleball over here and all that. So if you go back to here and say your kid wants to sign up for a soccer match. So you find one that looks good to you. I'll say this one here, the local soccer match. I'll click on that. It takes me here. It'll show me a pin of where the location is, somewhere in San Francisco here, where the creator made this. It shows you the date that it's going to happen and the time and when it's supposed to end. How many players are currently signed up, and then you can scroll down here and you're able to RSVP. You hit RSVP if you want to go or not. If you hit going. Now that'll add that you are going to it. As you see it updated to 2 of 14 players now because you have now signed up for your kid. And then there's also a chat you can see here. No one's talked in this chat yet, but you can communicate with the other players that are going to the thing if you need to like coordinate who's bringing stuff. You can also look at this equipment tab here. You can see when you create an event, you're able to list which equipment will be needed to be brought by other people. In this case, a soccer ball is needed. This gives the ability so you can create an event even if you don't have things, and then someone that does have the equipment is able to bring it. So, say my kid was able to bring a soccer ball with him that people could share, then I would tap that, and it tells everyone that I'm bringing a soccer ball, and no one else needs to worry about it because that is covered. So now if I go to my events here, we'll see that it's now filled out that I'm going to the soccer match, and we still see it's 2 out of 14. You can click on it again still to see all the things, all the information still there. And then say I wanted to sign up for the other soccer match as well. I click on this one and I see it's here at this Buena Vista Park, and I can RSVP that I'm going to this one as well. And there we go. So now if I go to my events, didn't refresh. Now I see both these are here, and I can track which things I've already signed up to go to. in this tab. So I can just track everything that I've signed my kid up for easily without having to go through everything and remember. So say my kid wanted to play a soccer match or let's say basketball, but this one didn't work for him. He can't do it on the 22nd at 2 o'clock. So I can create my own event. Um, so let's say you want to play basketball, and we'll say um, fun basketball pickup. Then you can give a description if you want. All are welcome to come have fun. Anything like that. And then we'll make this a public one. So this is you're open to have anyone come. Like only your son wants to sign up. You don't have friends that you're making it with. And then say you want it to be on the 25th on Saturday at let's say 3 o'clock. And it'll be an hour long. You can change that here if you want. And it's basketball, so 10 players is the ideal. So you could have 5 on 5. And then you can go down to the map here and you can go to a park you like Lafayette Park here, and type in the name that the event will be held at. And you scroll down. So say I need someone to bring a basketball. I don't have one. Or you could list it. It's still good to list it as well, but say we'll need a basketball. You can type basketball here and add it. And then there aren't other things you need for this, but you're able to add more, such as like if you need to request basketball shoes for some reason, you could put that there. And then if you hit the create event button, right, it says your event has been created. If I go, I see in my created tab of my events, it now says this is here. I can click on it. It says 1 out of 10. It auto signs you up for your own event because you made it. Um, and you can see it has the time. If you go to the equipment, it says the basketball's needed and all that. And it puts it in your going tab now, so you can see that too since you're auto RSVP'd. If you go to the Discover page, you should also see it there since you created it. Yep, we see it here. So then another thing you can do is if you wanted to create a private event, here we'll need 2 profiles for this. So you can view your profile here, see your sports. You can edit them if you want, add new sports or whatever. I don't need to do that right now. So I'm gonna sign out real quick and make a second user. Oh wait, no. Make a second one. I'll do test user 2 at gmail.com. Create a new one. Their name will be test user 2. They don't need a neighborhood. They like basketball, let's say. So now we're signed in with a new one. You can see everything's here, including that new one we just created. Fun basketball pickups here. I could sign up for it if I want. Say I'm going, and I say I can, in this new account, can bring the basketball. So I can bring that, and I could go to the chat. I can say, I can bring the ball to let people know. And then say I wanted to create a private event. So I know a bunch of other parents that and their kids, all our kids want to meet up to play. Let's say they're gonna meet up and play tennis. So friend group tennis. And then here I'm gonna hit private. This means that you only people can only join if you invite them specifically. And we'll say it's today at 6 o'clock for an hour. And this will be 4 people because it's tennis. It'll be over at Lafayette Park again. Okay. And then we'll say we need rackets and balls. And I'll create the event. Now, if I go to my created tab, I have my private event I created here. So we see I have it in my created tab. If I go to discover, oops, I'm still in the other one. If I go here, you see the tennis didn't pop up because it's not a public event. It shouldn't pop up on this discover page is only for public events. But if we go over here, um, we can now go down here to invite people. Say I wanted to invite the other user we made to join this event. Um, I'll say, so I type in their email that they use on here, which is testuser1@gmail.com, I believe. Okay, and the invite got sent to them. So, oh, and also I'll go check in a second to make sure that invite got sent. But there's also in the private ones, you're able to have a ride share since these are supposed to be with people you know, so you trust them to like carpool your kids. So say this is like your family friend and you're like, "Oh, I can offer a ride if anyone needs it. I have 4 seats in my car. Um, pick up at I'll just type Burns Park. I don't know the San Francisco areas. So say I could pick up people to go there. I'd say I have four, and then now that's offered and people know that that's available. So I'm going to sign out, go back to the other account and see if we got the invite. All right, so now we can sign in because the user exists, or test user or one. Sign in, and it remembers us. No, don't save that. Now, if I go to my events and I go to the invited tab, I now see I got invited to this tennis match. And if we look, there's 1 out of 4 because just the person that created it. It's exactly what we see. And if we go into the rides, we can see that this offer was created. And you can also request a ride if you want it. It would say, I need a ride. Um, but yeah, now that I got invited, I'm able to say I want to go. If I go out and go back to my going, we see that I'm now RSVP'd to go to that. And that is about all the features. So we have the private events, you have the public events, so you can just see what's around you and play. And this was intended to like make it easier to get quick access to sports for kids that like don't always have time or money to sign up for travel sports and just want quick pickup sports that are usually hard to organize. So the technical side that we use to create this app is we developed it in Swift on Xcode to make this iOS app for our front end and all this. And then for our back end, we use Firebase and Firestore for the NoSQL databases. And basically, just like whenever we update things on here, like creating a new user, it'll go to our Firebase as an entry. And then we have a table for users and a table for events. And uh, we update those tables and like scan them to show local events and all that. And then one challenge that we ran into was there were certain small parts of our design that we didn't fully carefully think through and resulted in some issues in implementation. One of those was on our RSVP buttons. We used to have an option for maybe, so we were gonna like let you track events that you were maybe interested in going. But we realized in implementation, this wasn't a very good idea because it's hard, especially in our backend, how we designed our backend. There was no good way to track like a maybe value because like we're trying to show how many people are going so we don't like not too many people sign up. Um, and we ended up getting around this just by a quick redesign, which we were able to do on the fly, and we ended up deciding that doing a maybe wasn't really a necessary event since the public events will still be there, so you can just go back and look at it if you decide you want to go later. Then one other challenge we ran into was in our testing, just we wanted to test it on like local places like Burns Park and all that in Ann Arbor, but using the simulator here, you see it defaults your location. Like this is the location of the phone technically, but since it's a simulator, it has a bad location. And um, but we were able to work around this problem by having our app go to test flight, which is an Apple app that lets you like have your code apps on there and you can invite like your friends and stuff to download your app on their phone as like a beta product. And we were eventually able to get that working and then we were able to use it on our phones and test like that. But for this example, we use the simulator as it's easier to record. And that is our app assist. Thank you all for looking at it.